Hi guys, and welcome back to Making Games with Unity. For today's video, we're going to show you on how to save data in Unity. If you want to know about these things, please watch this video. From our last video, we teach you on how to load a scene. And then, now, we're going to teach you on how to create a simple option window for our game. Right now, we are trying to save the value of background music volume and the value of sound effects volume. So, let's get started. First thing we need to do is to click our canvas and right click UI and then click panel. This panel will be our option windows or settings. So I'm going to create a UI again, which is image, and this image will be our background for this Windows panel. So I'm going to resize the image so that it will be looks like a settings or option window. So now I think this is okay. So I'm going to rename this image to BG so that we won't confuse. And then I'm going to add another UI, which is Text Mesh Pro, and then this will be the title of this window, like option. And then we will put this at the top. So right now we can't see the text because it's also white, so we need to change it to black. So now we get an option here. We need to center. Alright, so if we want to center this option on our BG, we need to drag it inside. So right now it's inside BG. I can click our title, click this option from Rect Transform, then I can choose this one, the top middle or top center, hold Control and Alt and click, so it will be go there. So right now I'm just going to align our text in here so it's center now. I will move it a bit here. So yeah, we get an option title now. So change the name of option title, and then we're going to add a button here. We're going to name this close button so that we can close our option window. Then we're going to move it down here. We can adjust this so that we can see what we're doing. So we can resize the button using Rect tool and then align it here. We can also do the same thing. Click the Rect Transform option here. I'm going to choose bottom middle, and then from there, see the anchor here? It means it will stay there, so I'm just going to move it a bit up here. So yeah, we get an option window with a button. I'm going to rename this to close. Next thing we need to do is to add a slider. This slider will be used for our sound effects volume and our background volume. So click on the BG, right click and then choose the slider from here. So now we get some slider here. So slider is a UI component that you can drag this slider button. You see this round thing? I'm going to run this so that you can see how it works. So if you are here, you can click this small button here, then you can drag it. See, when you move it, it will start from 0 until 1. You'll see it here. See the value here? So 0 to 1. So the value is depend on the max value. So now we're not going to touch anything. I'm good with 0 to 1. Means 0% to 100%, something like that. Alright, so yeah, that's the slider. I'm going to stop the play now, and then I'm going to move this down here, and maybe I'm going to resize it because it's so small, right? The player would have a hard time manipulating or modifying it. So something like this would be good. And now I'm going to just put it there, and then I'm going to add more things like text. So this text will be the text for this slider. I'm going to call it BGM. So I'm going to change the color to black again. so that you can see it. So now we get a slider and some BGM header here. I can choose that. I'm going to move it a bit up here. Then I'm just going to clone this. I'm going to choose these two objects, Control D, and then it will auto clone, and then I will move it down there. So I'm going to rename this one to SFX text, and then I'm going to put SFX here, and then I'm going to rename also the BGM text, and then I'm going to name it to BGM. So we get a BGM and SFX now. So the next thing we need to do is to add our script. Alright, so first thing we need to do is to, alright, we still need to rename our slider. Alright, so this slider is our BGM, so let's name it BGM slider, and then we're going to rename our SFX slider, SFX slider. At least we know now that these things is already set. So save our scene and our project. So now move to our project here. Then we need to create a new folder. I'm going to create a new folder here and I'm going to call it option. So for now, I'm going to put our code inside here for this option window. So right click, choose create, then choose C# script, and then I'm going to name it option controller. So after that, I'm going to choose our panel, which is our option controller. So I'm going to name it option panel. So in here, I'm going to drag the option controller. So now I can double click this option controller, and then yeah, we're going to wait for this code editor to load up. So right now it's loading. Alright, so we have now a option controller. So now we need to have a public variable here, UI slider. We're going to access that slider. So now what's the name of that slider? So this one, Unity UI. So this is a slider, so BGM slider, and then we're going to create another slider for SFX slider. We're going to save that, and then we're going back to our Unity project. So let's see, let's wait for it to be saved, and now it's saved. I'm going to drag the BGM slider to the BGM slider, the SFX slider to SFX slider, and then what's next is, for example, the BGM. We want to listen to this on value change. So yep, we need to create a method inside our option controller, and then we will put it here. So go back to our option controller, and then we're going to add a method here for that slider. We're going to create two methods here, one for the BGM slider and one for the SFX slider. So now let's create it. So I think we don't need the update. For the start, I'm not going to touch it. So public void on BGM slider change, slider change. So when the BGM slider change, when the BGM slider value change, we will call this. Same with the SFX. So I'm going to copy this, put it here, then I'm just going to rename this to SFX. So now we got two methods. So in here, we're going to create a debug lag to check if that slider is working. So I'm going to put $sign here because this is a better way of lagging things, and you can also pass variable inside using the open and curly bracket, just like that. So BGM, I'm going to put it inside here, then value, so meaning when the BGM value change, it will show here. So I'm going to put BGM volume, volume. All right, and then in here I'm going to put SFX volume. So I'm going to change this to SFX slider. Alright, so we have that two things. So we're going to go back to our YouTube project, wait for it to be saved. You see here, this loading, yeah, it's saving. Then you will hear that thing after save. I don't know what the hell is that. So I'm going to choose our slider here. Remember this thing, go to your slider component and look for on value change single, and then we can drag now our option panel here, because in our option panel we have the option controller. So after we've done that, we can now go to this one. We can look for option controller and on BGM slider change. We're going to do that on SFX slider also. So go to your slider component on the inspector, go to the on value change, click the plus, drag the option panel, because the option panel have the option controller, which is this. So on SFX slider value change. So now I'm just going to save again, save scene, save project. So we're going to try it now. Hit play, try to slide. So now you will see here that the value is changing. So right now the value is 0.15000 something. So I'm going to drag this one. So you will see it here, the value is the same. So meaning, yeah, it's working now. The next thing that we need to do is to save those value. So right now you can also see here that SFX is also working. See? So we'll start from 0, then I will move to 1. So here it will reach 1. So now, yep, it's ready. We need to save the value now. So I'm going to save again, yeah, because I always like saving. Alright, we need to go back to our option controller, which is already open here. So now we're going to save that value, the value for BGM volume and the value for SFX volume. So if you see our logs, I will play it again here. The value is decimals, it means it's float. So we're going to use a float data type to save our data. So now we're going to use PlayerPref. PlayerPref is the easiest way to save data in Unity. So now I'm going to show you on how to use the PlayerPref. So I'm going to create a method here called private void save, let's say save float, because we're going to save some float value, then PlayerPref, then set float. This set float requires two parameters, string for a key, float for the value, which is our volume. So now we're going to create a key first. I'm going to go here, I'll type private string, then BGM key for our BGM key, and then I'm just going to put BGM here, and then I'll copy this and paste it here, and then I'm just going to modify to SFX key, then I'm going to put here SFX. So now we can now use the BGM key and SFX key when saving. So in here I'm going to create another parameter, which is key and float for our volume. So now I'm going to pass in the key here and the volume here. Actually, we can directly put this PlayerPref inside our slider, but I'm going to use this way. So I'm going to put it here. Going to use our key, which is BGM key. Then I'm going to pass in the value of our slider, BGM slider here. I'm going to copy this one, and then I'm going to paste it here. I'm going to change the BGM sliders to SFX slider, and then the BGM key to SFX key. And now if we change the value of our slider for BGM and SFX, it will save those value on our save float. And then to load that, we need to create another one like private void, not network view, void, not void, void, load save settings. So right now in here, we're just going to log the value for now. So we're going to check first if we really have those value on PlayerPref. So PlayerPref that contains husky. Okay, this one husky. Okay, this one will check for the BGM key. So this one will check if we have a BGM volume saved, and then in here we're going to debug lag to show that value. So the debug lag $sign here, open curly and close curly bracket, and then we're going to get the value inside here. We're going to create float BGM volume equals PlayerPref that get float. So we're going to pass in the BGM key. So right now we're going to put it this one, and then I'm going to put BGM volume here. So in here we're going to load the save settings. So this line will check if our PlayerPref have some BGM key. It means we saved something using the BGM key. Then in this line, we're going to load the value of that BGM key, which is our BGM volume. So to check the value, we're going to debug lag and access that BGM volume. And now I'm going to copy this method and I'm going to put it on our start here. So this one will check if we have some saved value, else we're going to debug lag that we don't have no BGM volume saved. So let's save this, and now we can go back to our Unity project, and then we just need to wait it to be saved. Let's save scene, save project again, let's hit play, and then we're going to slide the BGM, but before that, see our debug lag, no BGM saved, so no P wrong spelling. So but it says no BGM volume saved because we haven't saved anything. But once we drag this one until maybe at the middle, which is 0.5676482, remember that volume, I'm going to clear this, I'm going to stop our play, and then I'm going to hit play again. Then it should load now. See here, we save our volume, which is 0.5676482, and that is good. So now we just need to do the same thing on our SFX. So now as you can see, it's working. So let's stop display, and we're going to do the same thing to SFX slider. So it's already saving here. Actually it's already set up. We just need to load the SFX. So I'm going to copy this whole thing, this whole if. Oops, then I'm going to create SFX key here to check the SFX key, and then same here. Then we're going to pass in, I'm going to change this to SFX volume, and then I'm going to change this, and then this one also. Then we can save this, we can go back again to our Unity project, wait for it to be saved, and then we can save again. We can try with, we can hit play here. Let's try our SFX until 1. So it's already 1. So I'm going to stop and play again. This should now load BGM and SFX, which is this one and this one. So it works. So yay, we can save data now in Unity, and that's good. So yeah, what's next? So right now we're just logging the value of the volume, which is BGM volume and SFX volume. but without using it, it will be useless. So now we need to think a way on how to use that in our game. Alright, we're going back to our Unity project first. So now we need to plan on how to, first we need to show and hide our option window, which is this one, because it's blocking our title scene. So the best place to do that is in our title panel. So I'm going to change this to title panel so that it will be clear. So in the title panel, we're going to click the UI title controller here, and then from here we're going to create a new public variable with this game object, and we're going to pass the option panel here, option panel. So we're going to create a ShowHide for our option panel. So private void show option panel, and then in here option panel that set active true, because we're going to show that option panel. I'm going to copy this one. I'm going to change the name to hide instead of show. Then I'm going to pass false here. So right now we get a private here, but now we need to call the hide option panel first. So I'm going to create the option start here, the private start, which is the default Unity methods within the model behavior. Actually, it's not default, it's one of the methods inside the model behavior. So we're just going to use that again. So I'm going to copy the hide option panel here so that when we run the game, it will hide the option panel. So we can check that, go to our Unity project, wait for the script to be saved first, and now we're going to hit play, and then it will hide the option. But we got some error because we didn't pass the option panel. So see here, it's empty. That's why you have this error. So click title panel, drag the option panel. So clear the console, hit play again, and then the option will disappear or it will just hide. But second option that we can do is click the option panel, we can hide it here. So actually when we call the set active, this is the same property that we're just modifying. Show hide, show hide. So now I'm going to hide it by default. So now that the option panel is already hide, we need to find a way to show our option when we click our option button. So to do that, we just need to go back to our title panel and then check if we already have a show option panel. So in here we can easily tell that we already have because we already made it. We're just going to copy the method and put it here, because before in our last tutorial we already created this click option. So save that. We need to go back to our Unity project and let's check our button option panel if our option button is linked to our title controller, which is not. So I'm going to click this plus here. Inside the button component, inside the onClick event, I'm going to drag our title panel, which hold our method that we need to use. So click option. So now it's linked. We need to save our scene again, save our project, and now we're going to try it. Hit play, and then we are going to click the option. So ta-da! Yay! So the option is showing now. But now we need to fix this close button here. So to fix that, we can easily stop display, and we are going to go to our option controller, and then we're going to create a public method here, public void close option panel, and then in here we can easily access ourselves this that game object that set active equals to false, meaning we will hide ourselves, something like that. So go to our Unity project, and now we're going to look for our close button. Go to our button component, go to on-click event here, tick the plus button. We're going to drag the option panel on the runtime only, and then on the function we're going to choose our option controller and choose hide or close option panel, which is this one. So let's save our scene again and our project to be sure, clear this one and hit play. But the problem right now is, yeah, it just hide it because we have some code. So yeah, I'm going to hide this by default again so that it's not blocking the view. So I'm going to hit play again, hit option, click option, then now click close, and now it's showing and hiding, and then we're almost near to the end of this tutorial. So good work guys for staying alive right now. So yeah, what's next? We haven't used the value for the volume of BGM and SFX until now. So to use that volume, we need to find a way, or we need to find the part of our game that use that. So remember that we use the SFX and background music on our game scene, so that's the perfect place to use that volume. Alright, so we need to go back to our game scene, which is this one, and then we need to check who uses the volume for the SFX and the background music. So I remember that inside the audio manager we use the background music. So we need to fix this. To fix this, we need to get the value from our BGM volume. So to do that, we can go to our option controller here and then check how to load it. So in here we are loading the values, so we can get this condition here, copy it, and then we can go back to our audio manager here, and then in here I'm going to paste this one. I'm going to cut this whole code here, and then I'm going to put it here. It means that if we found a value, it will change the value. So in here we have a BGM key, right? So we missed that one. We need to get the BGM key again. So right now, yeah, this is basic. That's why our code seems repeating. But in the future, I'm going to show you on how to optimize or refract or make our code more organized and more smaller. Because right now, yeah, we are just repeating ourselves. See here, we just copy the logic here from loading the volume for the BGM, and then we also copy the BGM key here, and then I put it here and here. That is a bad practice, but for now, because this is just a basic and I'm just showing you around on how things are working, this is okay, this is fine. Our goal right now is just to show you and for you to know what's going on, but it's okay to copy and paste as long as you know what you're copying and pasting. So right now, go back to our topic. So in here we get an if condition that check if our BGM key have some value, and then in here we're loading that BGM float, which is this one, the BGM volume. So I'm going to copy this one and I'm going to set that volume on our audio source. So meaning when our background music play, it will use our BGM volume that we just set. So we can copy this audio manager so that we know that it's loading our BGM on this line, and then I'm going to copy it here. But of course there's no BGM volume that we need. I'm just going to tell no BGM volume save, something like that. So because we don't have any value or variable inside, we don't need that dollar sign. So now when we go to our Unity. So now let's hit play. Alright, so after we hit play, this value show, it means that our volume, BGM volume, is loaded properly. See this value? 0.51311602. It means it's loaded properly. So right now, we are saving and loading our BGM volume, and we are using them, and that's good. So now we need to find a way on how to use our SFX volume. So now let's look for our bullet controller, which is somewhere here. Alright, this one is using some of our SFX, if I remember correctly, which is this one. So we have hit and died SFX. So we need to check in here. Alright, so we need to copy the loading for our SFX. So we can easily go back to our option controller to see our code for that, and then in here we're going to copy this part, and then in our bullet controller we're going to create a new method here. So to set the audio source volume, so let's see, set SFX volume. So right now it's clearly that we are just copy and pasting code, which is not good, but this is a basic tutorial, so it's okay. The purpose of basic tutorial is for you to know everything, the basics, and you just need to know on how everything works. So now it's okay, we don't need to make a very beautiful code or clean code or short code or smaller code. Our goal is to make it work. So right now we have a set SFX volume here. So after we load our SFX volume, we're going to set the volume of our sound effects inside the bullet controller. So audio source, copy this one, and then let's take this one, and then we can check the volume here, so we can pass in the SFX volume. So we can easily do that, and then we can copy the bullet controller so that we can put it here, so that we know that this debug lag is being called inside our bullet controller. So right now we need to use this set SFX volume in here. So actually we can cut this one, not this one, because it will be called again and again. So I think the best place to do that is on awake. So in here I'm going to put that, and then I'm going to check inside, so it will go here, it will set the SFX volume. So let's minimize this one, and then let's try to save first, and then let's hit play. So now alright, so right now after we shoot the first bullet, we see this one. It means it's setting the SFX volume. So let's clear this one, let's try again. So as you can see, the volume of the SFX is not that loud, right? Alright, so we can check another script. I think we also need to change the sounds for the other sound effects. So right now we get the bullet controller and we get the audio. What else? We need to change the shoot. Alright, we need to change the shoot. So we're going to go on our player, go to the shoot controller, and in here we're going to do the same thing that we did on the bullet controller. So to do that, we can again copy this method so that we don't we don't need to type them again. Type them again. So in here, just going to copy this key, so it's okay. Don't think about it, about copying and pasting. As long as you know what you're doing, it's fine. We can always refract our code. When I say refract, it means you're organizing your code, you're trying to make your code smaller and simpler. But now it's fine, we're just learning things, we're just learning basics, so it's fine. So in here, we need to set the SFX for our volume for our shoot SFX. So I'm going to create a method here again, private void awake, and then on this awake I'm going to call this set volume, and then inside that set volume we're going to set our audio source volume, and then yeah, it will be all set now. So we're going to clear this one, hit play, and then we can try it. So now so now our SFX volume and BGM volume is being loaded properly. See this lag here? So yeah, inside our shoot controller, we forget to copy the name of our class. So put it here, in here, save that. That's why you're seeing the two bullet controller lags here. But now we can safely back to our title scene and try to play, and then from here we're going to make our volume just a smaller, something like that, so that our volume and our volume per BGM and SFX is smaller. So let's close this, play. Alright, so right now we are using the data that we just saved. Yay! And then go back to the start. But right now we have some problem. This slider here is not using the save volume for our BGM and SFX. See here, it's always started with 0. So we need to fix that. To fix that, we need to go to our option panel and click this one and open the option controller, and then we need to check the load save settings. So right now we're just logging it and we're not using it, so we're going to use it. So grab the BGM slider here, go to the volume here, that the BGM volume that we have here, we can now call the BGM slider here and then that volume, and then we are simply going to pass in the volume there. Same with our SFX slider. So in here I'm just going to copy this one, and then I'm going to change this to SFX slider, which is our slider for the sound effects, which is when I click it will go there. So BGM slider, SFX slider. So the BGM volume that we just load are going to set on that slider, on that BGM slider, and the SFX volume that we just load will be set on the SFX slider that we put here. So let's save that, and now when we run this one, we're expecting that slider, the BGM slider and the SFX slider will be changed. So hit play, hit option or click option, and now you can see that slider is being updated. So put it in the center, put it on the end, close. You can stop the play again and hit play again just to show that it is working. Hit option button, there you go. So now our option window is working with two slider inside, BGM slider and SFX slider. We can put it in here and in there, then close, and then play again, then hit the option. See, it's saving now. So for that, congratulations guys for reaching this part of the video. So now you know how to use PlayerPref and you know how to use slider in Unity. So now we can close this option now, and then we can go to our game. Alright, Whew. All right. So right now, guys, you know how to use PlayerPref. We use PlayerPref to save the volume of our background music and sound effects. And then we use the data type that is float to save that. And we use that float volume, which is our BGM volume and sound effects volume, to change the sound effects and BGM of our minigame. So now you know how to save data, and it means we can do more things from now on. But again, there's a lot of data types that we can save. We can save int, string, boolean. That's the basic data type, but there's more that we can save. And that's it, guys. Congratulations for reaching this part of the video. And yeah, if you learned something today, if you like this video, please like this video. And then if you have friends that also want to learn how to make games or video games, please share this video in our channel. And then yeah, thank you for watching, and thank you for visiting our YouTube channel, and I hope that you learn every time you watch our video. And again, if you haven't subscribed, or if you're new to our channel, please hit the subscribe button and please hit the notification bell so that you'll always get updated when we upload a new video. So guys, thank you for watching again, and have a nice day. See you on our next video. Thank you guys. Goodbye.